My name is Ronald Hirano. I was born in Berkeley, California. Growing up, I attended the California School for the Deaf. Once I graduated, I then went to Gallaudet University, where I achieved my associate's degree in 1995. Once I graduated, I moved back to California to continue my education in hopes of becoming an architectural engineer. I did go to that school without an interpreter, only a volunteer note taker who would take notes for me as I went to classes. Once I got my degree and graduated from that college, I then started to work as an architectural engineer. After a few years, I started working at Alani College, which is located in Fremont. I taught 3 subjects: backpacking, math, and ASL. Unfortunately, the budget did get cut at that school, and I was laid off as a teacher. And it was suggested to me to work at a school in Texas called SWID. Which was a deaf school in Big Springs, Texas. Really, the reason I decided to move over there was just as a test to see if I liked working there. After 3 years, I then retired, but I did keep myself busy. I did many things in my retirement to live my life. Growing up, I was really influenced by my time at the Boy Scouts. I kept on going within that group until I became an Eagle Scouts, and then as I started working, I realized that I really did have a desire to camp and backpack and do all of those things related to Eagle Scouts. It was suggested to me to go to become involved in the Sierra Club, which was a backpacking group. I was the only deaf person in that group, and we learned how to backpack and rock climb and do different things related to backpacking. I then I established my own deaf version of the Sierra Club, where we would cook and rock climb and backpack and do different kinds of things. This group that I established then led me to start my own business where I sold backpacking equipment. It was really fun because customers would enter my shop and they weren't really bothered by the fact that I was deaf. We would communicate by writing back and forth to each other. There were a couple of people I would have some awkward encounters with because later I would find out that they weren't fluent in writing English, so they would rather talk to somebody. As a child, I was growing up during the time where it's a historical period of time where there were Japanese internment camps going on. And I remember my family, we all drove to the Berkeley Church parking lot where my whole family started to hug my parents, which I was confused by. I couldn't communicate with them, so I didn't know what was going on. Later, I found out that my mother had a grudge against me because I didn't say goodbye to her as she left through the buses. Eventually, as I married, I wanted to buy a house, and I invested in a trust. I asked my father if he could help me financially for paying with the house. However, he refused to pay my down payment for me. I decided that I could buy the house by myself. Or I could buy the house by myself. But while I was teaching at SWID, my father's health started to decline. Eventually, he passed away, and while I was going through my father's stuff, I found out that he owed $11,000 to the IRS.